Swamp barbecue. Judge Jeanine puts Mueller in the hot seat. Burns him to a crisp. By US4Trump.com. Saturday night in her opening on Justice with Judge Jeanine, Fox News' firecracker, Judge Jeanine Pirro turned up the heat to full blast. On her set, as the room was blazing, the judge slammed down her gavel, laying waste into the corruption that's buried deep in the swamp. Judge Jeanine Pirro puts Robert Mueller on the hot seat Saturday night, leaving him burnt to a crisp. In her opening, the judge said, "You know, when things go terribly wrong with a crime scene, cleanup is needed. The mafia calls in the cleaner, the one who disposes of the body after the hit or covers up the evidence after the crime. Now, in the movie Pulp Fiction, the cleaner brought in to dispose of the corpse is Harvey Keitel." She continued, "When covert missions go wrong, the government calls in its own cleaner. And when things go terribly wrong for the Democrats, they don't just call in the cleaner to get the job done. They call in someone who has been in the cleanup business for a long time. They call in the serial cleaner, former FBI director and now special counsel Bob Mueller." Let's take a listen.
You know, when things go terribly wrong and a crime scene cleanup is needed, the mafia calls in the cleaner. The one who disposes of the body after the hit or covers up the evidence after the crime. Now, in the movie Pulp Fiction, the cleaner brought in to dispose of the corpse is Harvey Keitel. When covert missions go wrong, the government calls in its own cleaner. And when things go terribly wrong for the Democrats, they don't just call in a cleaner to get the job done. They call in someone who's been in the cleanup business for a long time. They call in the serial cleaner, former FBI director and now special counsel Bob Mueller. Now, the latest details this week of a continuing cover-up by the Trump-hating deep state, as if we needed further proof that Donald Trump was being framed, was evidence that Bruce Ohr, the fourth highest ranking DOJ official, back-channeled forbidden information to the Department of Justice. So after Christopher Steele is terminated by the FBI, Ohr ignores his own rules of his department and he meets with Steele to peddle his fraudulent dossier to justice. The intent? Clearly, to tee up a special counsel investigation. And the amazing thing is that Bruce Ohr had absolutely nothing to do with Trump-Russia collusion investigation. Yet after Donald Trump gets elected, he inserts himself into Trump-Russia to get Steele in on the Mueller team. Bob, aren't you embarrassed by this whole fiasco around you? You actually have a 70-year-old man, Paul Manafort, put in solitary confinement 23 hours a day on a 2007 tax case having nothing to do with Donald Trump or Russia collusion because you're trying to get him to rat on the President of the United States. And you're panicking now, Bob, because Donald Trump's legal team doesn't want him to talk to your team of Trump haters. I mean, come on. Everybody on your team hates the president. But what I don't get, Bob, is how you can sit there under this sanctimonious veil as if you're a holier-than-thou and not be investigating the real crime that keeps jumping out at you and us every week. Why aren't you investigating James Comey, who lied before Congress, or Peter Strzok, who teed up a fake Russia collusion investigation, or Andrew McCabe, and now Bruce Ohr and his wife Nellie? His wife had a job with Fusion GPS, the group that Hillary Clinton funneled her money to get to Christopher Steele to create that fake dossier to make believe Russia had dirt on Donald Trump in the form of a sex tape. So here we have Bruce Ohr, who's not just violating the law, he's not even disclosing his wife is working for the agency, paying for the dossier. Bob, are you stupid? But your credentials as a government serial cleaner are really good. They're etched in the record. You testified after 4 Americans are killed in Benghazi to cover for Hillary Clinton's incompetence. Bob, why would you say the FBI couldn't get to Benghazi in time? It took 2 or 3 weeks. They needed someone who would say the FBI couldn't get to Benghazi since it was way too dangerous. Bob, honestly, you look and sound like a fool. CNN and just about every newspaper in the country, in the world, got there. They made it there, but the FBI couldn't. Hey, I get it. A good cleaner, Bob, wants the crime scene as trampled as possible. But you know, Bob, we're all getting tired of this. And this all comes down to your effort to get Donald Trump indicted, and you are panicking. You got nothing. And talk of subpoenaing him is ridiculous. And Bob, you should know better, just between the two of us. When you were subpoenaed in the Whitey Bulger disaster in Boston, and your Justice Department argued that you were just too busy fighting terrorism to talk about 1980s Boston. You fought that subpoena, and ironically, you argued that the attorney that was looking to subpoena you, just like you're looking to subpoena Donald Trump, didn't demonstrate why information from you couldn't be gotten by other means. And now ain't that a hoot, Bob? When you were the head of the FBI, it had just over 28,000 employees back then. And you claim you were too busy to testify? Well, how about this? Donald Trump is too busy fighting terrorism for over 320 million Americans and protecting us, and he doesn't have time for you and your nonsense subpoena either. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And that's my open. If you like my opens, you'll love my new book. New York Times #1 bestseller. Liars, Leakers, and Liberals. It's all in there. If you're fascinated by any of this, the case against the anti-Trump conspiracy.
You know, you have to, hats off to Judge Jeanine. That's why The View hated her. Once she started coming out with the truth, they literally went on, they became so unhinged that Whoopi couldn't even take it. And that's that's exactly what goes on with the liberals. They don't want to hear the facts. They want to hear their fantasy land of Trump being guilty. And Mueller is a criminal, and he should be put in front of Congress, just like Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch says. I'd like to see Mueller answer these questions about Trump. Really. She's so on point with everything. Yeah, Mueller didn't have time to testify, but the President of the United States, with all that he's dealing with, he has time to answer these ridiculous questions by Mueller. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.